paradise won't change your mind. Can't shape the lights. I'll take the chance and roll the dice.
Let's go. Let's have a nice chat with our buddy Sephiroth here.
Welcome back, guys.
Hi, Sephiroth. You have such lovely hair.
It's so pretty.
Can I brush it?
Brush it, brush it.
I mean, where do you need me to go, Sephiroth? Yes, sir.
I will do the thing that you want me to do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Flying enemies are some of the worst in this game. Just.
I hate them. They're annoying as hell.
Yeah, because there's...
Especially when they take as much to kill as these guys do.
Well, I mean, and sometimes they're not a problem because you can knock them to the ground with some attacks, but right now you're kind of stuck on the pre-rendered platform. Yeah. Which is just is what it is, but it's one of those minor design flaws that hurts an otherwise really good game.
Yep.
So, I mean, and it's due to the environment Chris is in that it's a problem, because other times you are, and here comes the auto targeting problem. I don't think Chris can actively target the thing flying until that one on the ground is dead.
I can, but I'm not gonna bother because the flying thing requires me to stand still and cast, whereas this guy will stab me.
Oh no, Dragoon jumped. But yeah, in more open areas, when there are flying things, Zack can actually attack them, because even though it's flying, it's only slightly above the ground.
Yeah.
So
it's only when they're over an actual open pit area that I can't get at them.
Because unfortunately, Zack suffers from Jedi syndrome. If he gets too close to a pit, he dies. I mean, it's just...
Do it.
But it won't stop him from hopping over the ledge and punching the guy to death.
Yes, I am going to punch you from this platform until you die from it.
Well, it's because, we're the restless puppy, and Gio told us that we needed to do this.
Rush Assault was always one of my favorite limit breaks.
Yeah.
A, it looks cool as hell. B, it has the potential for the most damage, simply because it has the highest number of hits.
Yeah, and each one can crit individually.
And it gives you... Yeah, there is a damage cap per hit in this game, because it's a Final Fantasy game. It's a thing they do.
You can eventually break the cap, but you have to get an item to do it that I believe comes from a secret mission.
Yeah. But... Angeal's Rush Assault there has so many hits. When I played the game previously, I had a couple times where I was hitting damage cap on every one of those hits. And it's ridiculously insane.
Hey, I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do, and the game gives you the tools to do it. So
oh, absolutely.
Not. So, like we said, time to complete for this game is about 20-ish hours. I mean, you're probably not going to watch the full 20 hours just because there's going to be things that need to get done that are kind of grindy that we'll just do off screen.
Yep.
So that we can get them completed. But that's why we chose this one to do as opposed to other Final Fantasy games, because most mainline Final Fantasy games have time to complete.
Similar to doing everything in this game.
Yeah, in the upper 40s. They're console games, so they're expected to be longer.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that, if that's what you're planning for.
I know that there are people that speed run Final Fantasy games, but even then, while speed running, you're still ending up with times of 3 to 4 hours, and that's with using sequence skips.
Yeah.
Which is very fun to watch at something like ADGQ. Wow, did I actually? AGDQ. Okay, I had to say that a number of times to make sure I'm saying it correctly, just because, wow, I don't know. But yeah, Games Done Quick, and so Awesome Games Done Quick and Summer Games Done Quick. They will occasionally run Final Fantasy games to be like, hey, how fast can you speedrun this? And they're still clocking in like 4 hours on it, and that's speedrunning it. And that's why usually the Final Fantasy block or the RPG block starts at like 10 p.m. and runs until sometime in the morning.
Yep.
When and that's 10 p.m. Pacific, by the way, so 1 a.m. Eastern. So it's really late at night when people are less likely to be actively watching it.
Yep.
Because they still need to... Wait, what did he say?
I have to go down to open the Mako valve. I think it's this door over here.
It might be. It's either that or you might have to go back up, because if you look across, that's where the valve is.
No, the valve is down a level.
Is it?
Yes.
But okay, so turn the camera slightly to the right. See, there's the ladder.
Yeah.
So you need to go back up and get to the other ladder so you can climb down. Regardless, so this game will be long, and we'll try to make it as entertaining for you as possible, which means we're going to cut out as much grinding as we can.
Yeah.
But there are certain areas, like this one, where we can't... Yeah, see,
there we go.
We can't actually skip some things because...
Yeah.
Okay, so we need to go further
This
around.
is how I get back to where I was quickly.
After you activate it.
After I do the stupid.
I think it's further to the right. Or
I think it's this one.
I think you just made a loop, honestly.
Possible.
Yeah, you totally
Yep, I totally did.
Yeah, so, I mean, things like this, we'll get lost a bit just because it's...
Oh, there it is.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. That's why he said it's under the stairs. Mail! Regardless, we're going to do our best to, reduce the time this takes on, so that we're not wasting your time. We'll try to be entertaining about it. But we really wanted to play this game. Because
I love this game. It's a great game.
It is, and we found a way that we can actually actively record it, because the issue with playing PSP games is you oftentimes have to wait until they do a digital re-release of the game, and then you have to repurchase it, because that was a real thing that I believe cost them a lot in terms of brand loyalty between the PSP to the PS Vita.
Yeah.
In Japan, the PS Vita is doing amazingly well. And one of the things they offered for it at the time... Oh, is this the Mako valve we have to shut
off?
Okay. One of the things they offered when it first came out, and they offered it in Japan, was they offered a trade-in program. You could take your PSP UMDs, which they were the proprietary game disc for the PSP. They were actually really cool, and they were a really cool piece of technology.
Absolutely.
And I liked the design of them because it protected the disc.
Yes.
So it was a cool piece of technology, but it was proprietary technology, which of course people dislike because it's proprietary. But it was a really cool piece of technology. But what they did, the Vita doesn't play it, because the Vita it has its own proprietary technology, which is fine. But what they did in Japan is they had a trade-in program. You could mail, or I think there were a couple places you could actively take your discs to, but for the most part it was mail your discs in to this address and send them a couple bucks per game that you're mailing in, and they will send you back a license key for a digital version of the game.
That is really cool, and that would have definitely helped over here. Yeah,
you were paring down your PSP library, whatever, but you're getting a digital version of the game, and the way that the digital versions of the games... Oh, there we go. Okay, so there are blue materia.
Oh, yeah, I had just spaced them.
Okay. Actually, we probably should get the Libra. That's the one that lets you see how many hit points they have.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. Anyways, sorry guys, we're buying some stuff. I promised we wouldn't, and I lied. Chris, you're making me a liar.
Yes, I am.
It's okay. You can get rid of like
No.
Blizzard.
Yeah. I don't use Blizzard.
Oh, and it gives you attack +1 as well, so it's actually useful. Anyway, so, but they didn't, and it was well advertised, and like not everything qualified for it because of license, like Crisis Core didn't due to license agreements.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I would say 80 to 90% of games you could get a digital key for. And that was awesome. But they never offered that ability in the US.
And that was
Ever.
a huge
So
downside.
the Vita just hasn't done well at all here. Like, I love my Vita, but a lot of new games that I want to get, I have to import.
Yeah.
Which
it stinks.
It stinks, but thankfully we have a game store nearish here, and by game store I mean it's more like a warehouse that happens to sell video games.
But yeah, they import a lot of stuff already. They have damn near everything. It's eStarland. They have a website. If you want to buy games, buy it from them. They're awesome.
Yeah, not sponsored. Please sponsor us. But yeah, eStarland, and it's that's what, a Soul Twister?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, and so the Vita, despite all predictions that it's the Vita is dying, it's doing bad, but never had a lot of games for it. It's like, you're right. In the US, it really didn't, because we never really mobile gaming and handheld gaming in the US.
Unfortunately, is largely done on the phone.
It's done on the phone, and it's also, and if it's not done on the phone, it's done on a DS.
Yes.
Nintendo has, I mean, props to them. They've done amazingly well promoting the DS in the US, but in Japan, it's all about the Vita.
Yes.
Mobile phone gaming somewhat, but a lot of mobile phone games in Japan also get released on the Vita.
Where the hell are... Oh, to try to have to take stairs again. Or ladder.
No. Yeah, it's the ladder over there by the... It's the one behind you now. By the...
Yep.
By the wheel. But, so... In order to get this working... we had to jump through a number of hoops. I'm not going to explain what they are, and largely because Chris and I both own legitimate copies of Crisis Core.
Yes.
We love it, and it's a really fun game. And I highly recommend, if you are enjoying what you're seeing, in addition to liking, commenting, and subscribing. I'm sorry, I have to plug that at least once. That you. But seriously, do like, comment, and subscribe. Go out and get a copy of it. You can get it fairly cheap used. Yes, you're going to kind of have an issue finding a PSP, but at the same time, getting a PSP 1000 or 2000, that's not that hard either.
Yeah, and they're not that expensive.
Right, because they're an older system and you can get them. eStarland sells them.
Yeah,
actually,
for relatively cheap.
But you got to jump through a number of hoops if you want to be able to record it like we are, and I'm not going to explain what they are because
move some stuff around.
The people, because you like having cure next to the items.
I like having cure 2 button presses away rather than
That's
5.
Fair. Because this, I don't want to promote piracy is largely what it comes down to. I do want to promote purchasing this game and playing it.
Absolutely, this game is definitely worth purchasing.
I will say that if you're going to get a PSP and you're looking to get this game, don't get the PSP Go, because the PSP Go cannot play UMDs. It is a digital-only thing, which is unfortunate, but it's just the way it is. Yeah. So you need to get a PSP Fat or a PSP Thin is what they are. The 1000 and the 2000. The 1000 was the original model. It's fatter. A lot of people prefer it. I know that the version I had was that, but I usually when I buy these things, I I usually get the release version. So I've got a PSP Fat, I've got a Vita Fat.
The wound.
And I've got
Then again, I got bigger hands.
yeah,
like,
and I've got
fairly
the
big
thing
hands.
for both, and there's no problems with either one of them.
Right, so
it's all a preference.
Actually,
thing.
my Vita Fat, I actually have a case that makes it even thicker to make it easier to carry, but it also protects it. So yeah, get the 1000 or 2000 and play the game. And here's Professor Hollander, who is
Mako energy that seeped in through the wound.
Yeah.
Professor Hollander here. He's kind of like he was supposed to be the doctor that helped make the not the soldier project.
He is the person who is currently working with Genesis and took the copy technology when they left Shinra.
Right. So I mean, Hollander, his kind of backstory is that he was the doctor in charge, or partly in charge of the project, and he's helping with the clone technology. We don't know if he's helping willingly or has been kidnapped at this point. And that's one of the mysteries of the game. That's something we'll find out as we go on.
Yes.
But poor Zach, all of these documents are in like
medical jargon and
medical jargon,
boring. I want to cut
science.
Which many, however.
Yeah, and one of the things that's kind of haunted Sephiroth ever since that incident is that Genesis needed a blood transfusion in order to save him from Mako poisoning, because just being around Mako is really bad for you because he kind of it grates on your nerves and such. But he couldn't, so it's kind of he feels guilty for goading Genesis on to the point where Angeal had to intervene and got him injured, and then he couldn't actually help him afterwards.
Project G. Project Genesis.
Yeah.
Genesis is a test tube, baby.
Contrary to this report, Genesis showed clear signs of change.
Oh no.
Not only that.
He was degrading.
Copies? Abominations.
Oh, hey, Hollander showed up. This is starting to become a trend where we're ending episodes on cutscenes, just because that seems to be where they're fun. Which I mean, I don't.
In our defense, that's partly where we're at in the game. There's a lot of cutscenes.
Yeah. To be fair, wherever you are in the game, there's a lot of cutscenes.
It's true.
It's just they
It's
happen
no
to be
Xenosaga, but there's a lot of cutscenes.
It does. Oh, you mean the movie Xenosaga?
Exactly.
Where you occasionally get to tap. Yeah, so we kind of learn here that Hollander is willingly helping them.
Yeah.
Although I do love Hollander's outfit choice.
Yeah.
It's kind of awesome. It's like he's got the green khakis, the t-shirt, the lab coat, and then sandals.
Yep.
He is, and here goes Genesis with more Loveless cards.
It's what he do.
Oh man.
Loveless again.
You never change.
3 friends go into battle. One is captured. One flies away. The one that is left becomes a hero.
Yeah,
One thing with the quotes that Genesis uses is he's trying to find quotes that apply to him, Angeal, and Sephiroth. He likes to equate himself and his life with the happenings in Loveless.
Which, I mean, it kind of makes sense, but what I really like is the fact that he has had his coat specifically tailored for a wing hole.
Yes. It's not just some tear that he has had put into the jacket. You can tell that it has been actually hemmed, and it is made to hold his wing.
Which is just amusing as all hell. But, hey, we finished the cutscene. We gotta go chase down Hollander, which I think we'll do next time. We'll chase down Hollander there and find out what he's all up to. Well, Chris does some materia fusion, buys a few things, and we'll see you later when we're better equipped.
See you later, guys.
Like I'll never die. I lose my head in the starry skies. Can't tame me down. I feel